That having been said, I think what we're looking at is a really clarifying moment that allows people to have a real discussion over a question that remains very open, which is, what is MAGA, or by a larger extension, what is American conservatism in the year 2025? Because the question, crazy as it may sound or seem, has never really been put forward to any real voters. Donald Trump won on the force of Donald Trump's singular historical personality. Donald Trump never actually sat down and said, okay, well, look, here are the principle of MAGA faith, and here are the disciples that will take us forward in the nation. As a result, we're having this crazy conversation. I am very, very, very willing to forgive and forget anyone from our camp who kind of takes a stumble, takes a misstep, makes kind of weird statement in support of something or someone they shouldn't have had. And then when kind of explained the magnitude of the error, says, oh my God, no, that is not at all what I thought I was saying or doing. It appears from the last, call it 48 or 72 hours in the annals of the Heritage Institution, of the Heritage Foundation, that Heritage is truly having a kind of come to Jesus moment and trying to kind of understand and reassess and do some real kind of teshuvah and not just PR damage control. I really hope that's the case, because that's the conversation I want to have. Not just, oh, we're conservatives, we fight to own the libs, but what is it that we're seeking to conserve? And the answer isn't pro-Russia, anti-Jewish,
right.
Pro-loser, anti-America. The answer is the opposite.
But how do you balance standing true to principle with what you described as a litmus test? Because I would say that saying that we don't want to associate or have people that are openly anti-Semitic making decisions, I don't think that's necessarily a litmus test. I think you're just simply saying that this person is morally corrupted because they're able to come to such to the conclusion of such irrational hatred. But some would say, oh, that's a litmus test. I don't
know. No, that's thank you for that question, because it's totally not what I meant. What I meant is, look, there are people who you look at and understand right away. Here is a filthy freaking anti-Semite. You look at Tucker Carlson. There could be no two ways about it. Hey, man, you are a hateful person, and your head should roll, metaphorically speaking, or figuratively speaking, because you're a hater of Jews, of liberty, and of America. Nick Fuentes very much fits into that camp. But I think that aside, and thankfully, I think that camp is really small and really vile and really crazy. You could tell it by its crazy, right? You listen to Candace
Correct.
Owens, you're like, you're an insane person. You listen to the Tucker like cackle, you understand that's a crazy person you're talking to. Fuentes, they're not well balanced. But then I think there's a whole host of humans. There's a whole kind of universe of people trying to figure the way out in the world. My personal approach, and it's not an approach that some of my beloved friends and true kind of soulmates share, is rather than saying, oh my God, how could you have come out in support of XYZ, is to be, if you will, a lot more Chabad about it and be like, hey man, let's have a l'chaim. Let's talk. Let me, explain to you why it is that I think Tucker is an America-hating freak, or that you should never ever defend Fuentes, etc., etc. Now, if you choose to willfully maintain your willful ignorance, not get it, and continue to support these haters, even after we've engaged in this thing, hey man, that's your own choice. You could choose to corrupt your own soul. There's nothing I could do to help. But I think a lot of people, and again, the last hours in the life of the Heritage Foundation are a good testament to this, would be very receptive. And they would say, oh, now that we actually frame the conversation, not in terms of how dare you, kind of cross this line, or how dare you support the person who doesn't support 100% of the thing that we support, because all of us need to walk aligned and, aligned in one, one neat file. People will say like, oh no, I totally understand what you said, and I want to be on the right camp, in the right camp, and so I'm just going to kind of course correct. I think you'll be seeing more and more and more of that, and I'm very optimistic.